This is the Kevin Trudeau Show.
I am exposing the corruption in government and in major multinational corporations. We're telling you the things that they don't want you to know that will make your life better.
Welcome to the Kevin Trudeau Show. I'm Kevin Trudeau. We have a fantastic show today. How to be happy. Is there an easy way to be happy? Yeah, hit the lottery. How to make $1 million and not pay taxes. First, get $1 million. I remember Steve Martin said that. Some of you don't know who Steve Martin is. But how to be happy. Now, I am obviously the infomercial king. Produce more winning TV infomercials than anyone, and sometimes known as and called by major news organizations like the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, marketing genius. But today, I am going to be Kevin Trudeau Guru. Because we're going to be talking about things, not only things that they don't want you to know about, but there is something about happiness that they don't want you to know about. I had mentioned several episodes ago, and if you haven't watched some of my previous episodes, I recommend you do. There's just tremendous amount of information here that can really improve the quality of your life. One of the things I mentioned is spy organizations such as the CIA in America and others around the world. They simply don't tell the politicians what they know. They just lie. Because how is the politician going to know the truth? So when the CIA goes in and talks to the president and says, Mr. President, there is no alien spacecraft in Area 51. We'll take you there and show you that there isn't. Well, if I'm the CIA and I'm hiding it, I'm not going to take you to that room. I'm not going to take you to the area that has the stuff. I'm just going to lie to you. And this has just recently been talked about. I've been talking about forever that data is withheld from politicians and withheld from you, or you're being misinformed. What is the reason for this? You know, this sounds like some conspiracy theory. Interestingly enough, I found a document, and I'm going to read what the document says. It is a CIA document, but it's in an organization in the CIA that I'm very familiar with, being a past member of the Brotherhood. And it says, as an operative axiom or datum, creating fear in others is the singular most powerful way to have control and strength. Think about that. Creating fear in others. So let's watch like advertising. And do the advertisements try to create fear? A lot of them aren't. You know, they're beer commercials. They don't have beer. Yeah, they have Bud Light. So beer commercials, and it's like happy, happy, happy. And most of the drug ads are take our drugs and look how happy everybody is. You know, take the drugs. Take it every day. Look how happy you are. Side effects include death, stroke, loss of testicles. I mean, on and on and on. And everybody while they're saying all the side effects include death, loss of eyesight, etc. The pictures are like, okay. However, let's look at some other things in the news. Wars, Ukraine, Middle East. If you look at the headlines, most of them are designed to instill fear. The majority of headlines to instill fear. Why? Fear is the singular most important thing that can be done to gain power and control, increase strength. When you are fearful, isn't it true that you're not happy? Well, today's your lucky day. I'm going to share with you the secrets of happiness and joy. Now, there is a difference between happiness and joy. And I'm coming from Kevin Trudeau Guru. You can only give what you have. For people that have known me for decades, they can say that even though an external situation can occur where the wrath of the guru or the fire of the guru is unleashed, and I've done it to several people here on the staff here, it lasts a minute, quite frankly, because it's warranted. And then it's gone. Happiness and joy comes from two separate sources. Happiness comes from external situations. Joy or bliss comes from within. Now, if I'm going to teach you how to be happy and how to have joy and bliss, I have to have it first, because you can only give what you got. Most people who teach or write books on joy or happiness or things like this, and I've known many of them, wonderful people, but they have a lot of psychological problems. And a lot of them get keyed in, or things get triggered. They're depressed, they're alcoholics, they're on drugs, and they're writing books on joy and happiness. I remember I was with one spiritual guru, we'll call him, who's a medical natural health guru as well, from India. And we were on the set of a show that I was shooting with him. And he teaches love, and you need to have compassion. And he's on the set talking about love and compassion and understanding and, you know, all this lovey-dovey stuff. And I'm looking at him, and when the show was over, he jumped up, started screaming at his personal assistant about why his car wasn't ready, because he wants to, you know, get to the restaurant where he's going to have dinner. And then when we have dinner, he's bitching, whining, and complaining about every little thing. And I'm like, this guy puts on a good act, but this is not the person. They're two separate people. Does that make sense? It was like two separate people. Two separate people. And I've seen that happen over and over and over again, especially with people on YouTube or people who write books on various subjects. They're not what you present. Hey, people that have known me, you know, they know. I remember, I was in prison for 8.5 years for contempt of court. I wasn't charged with a crime. I was told by the judge, effectively, the way I perceived it was, you can't talk about your books. You can't express your First Amendment constitutional rights. You can't express your opinions. And I said, I'm going to continue to do that. And I was held in contempt. And I was sentenced to 10 years in prison because I was exercising what I believed to be my First Amendment constitutional rights. 10 years. You think it'd be bitter? I wasn't bitter. I'm happy no matter what the external conditions are. I'm always happy, regardless of what the external conditions are. I remember when I was in prison, I'm walking down the middle of the compound. There's 1,000 inmates there. And the warden, who very rarely was outside of his office, was walking down the compound. And he stopped me and he said, Trudeau, he says, I've been in the Bureau of Prisons for 35 years. I've seen tens of thousands of inmates. And I've never seen a single one who's actually happy to be here. He goes, you're actually happy you're here. I go, well, you know, warden, I'm here. I have a choice. I can either be happy or miserable. I choose to be happy. Because if I'm miserable, I'm still here. And he just shook his head. He goes, that's amazing. And it's true. And I'm not saying that in a braggadocious way. I'm just suggesting that external conditions, regardless of what they are, don't have to put you in a state that you don't want to be in. So I'm teaching you this coming from a point of having. So this is something that I have. So first off, there's a difference between happiness and joy and bliss. Happiness is created by external situations. The Buddha said, pain in life is inevitable, but suffering is an option. So think about that. Our external conditions in life may change, and they may not be to what our ideal liking is. We may have external conditions or situations or events or circumstances that we don't like, that make us sad. Our mother dies. I think it's insane for you to pop champagne and be so happy that she's gone. I mean, I was sad when my mother passed, when my father passed. Heck, I was sad when my dog died. Like, I was with this dog for, almost 20 years. And she died. Of course she's gonna die, but when she died, didn't stop the fact that I was hurt and in pain and sad. So we have external situations that are gonna make us sad. I mean, if something happened to a member of your family, a tragedy, certainly you may be sad. You also may be angry if somebody does something to you, or if you're in a business and you've told somebody to do something and it doesn't happen, you may get angry. Having emotions is correct. You're not an automaton. To have the full, beautiful range of emotions is what life is all about. It gives us the texture of life. So love life and love the emotions of life, whether it's happiness or sadness, or whether it's anger or bitterness or distaste. Having a range of emotions based on external situations is perfectly okay. So the question is, I thought, Kevin, you just told me you were going to teach me how to be happy, and here you are to say, feel whatever the situation is presenting itself makes you feel. Well, that's true. The difference is, how long does it stay with you? I was on a call that was being done with people that had some psychological issues and emotional issues that they were trying to transmute and clear out of their field. And this one particular woman, it was a Zoom call, so we had people from all over the United States and around the world calling in, and the therapist was there, and they do magical energy work and so forth. And I was kind of auditing this particular class, to see what it was about, because I was invited to take a look and give opinions. So I'm sitting there watching, and this one particular woman, it was her turn to talk, and the facilitator says, so what emotional issues do you want to deal with the most? She goes, well, I'm just so sad about the passing of my mother. We were the best friends, and I just loved her so much. We talked 2 or 3 times a day, and I just miss her so much when she died. It was just so tragic, and I mean, every day I think I wish I was with her, and I just miss her so much. We were so close, and it was tragic, and I could feel this poor woman's pain, that she was so close with her mom. And I remember my mom was close with her mom. They were together every single day. My mother was down at my grandmother's house. My grandmother was at my house. They talked on the phone 10 times a day. They were like best friends. They talked all the time, both Italians, speaking in Italian to each other. They were together all the time. And when my grandmother died, I remember the pain that my mother went through and how much she missed effectively her best friend in the entire world, which was her mom. So I could feel this woman's pain, and I had empathy and compassion, because she deserves to be happy. She has a right to be happy. And and the fact that she was going through this pain and suffering was just heartbreaking for me. And then the facilitator said, when did your mother pass? And the woman said, next month it'll be 7 years. 7 years? Get over it. Are you with me? And the facilitator was like, oh. It was like, oh. Okay, if she was in the same room, slap her. And say, get over it. It's perfectly fine to deal with pain or suffering in a moment or for a while, but you get over it. I was at the Golden Door Spa in Escondido, California, one of the premier spas in the world. Started by Deborah Zake. It's a world-class facility called the Golden Door in Escondido, California. And I was there. I go there for Men's Week. Most of the time it's women only. A couple of weeks they have men and women, and then a few weeks a year they have men only. So I'm there for Men's Week, and most of the guys, about 2/3 of the guys, go there all the time, and we see each other and so forth. And a lot of us are getting old, and some of them have passed away over the years. I've been going there for 30 years. So on this one particular instance, there's a fellow there who's 92 years old, and he's at the spa, sharp as a tack, going on the hikes with us. Doesn't go on the big mountain hike, but he goes on the meadow walk. And he's 92 years old, and so we're at the table having dinner. We have we all get together. It's like 35 guys, and we change up the tables. On this particular night, he happened to be sitting next to me. So I was chatting with him, and I said, "Well, it's 92. Where do you live?" Because I live in New York City. I said, "How long you lived there?" He goes, "I lived there my whole life." I says, "You're obviously retired. What did you do?" He goes, "I'm not retired. I work part-time, but I still work." I go, "No kidding. What do you do?" He goes, "I'm a lawyer." I said, "Wow." He goes, "Yeah, I only work part-time, a couple days a week, half days, but I like to do it." I go, "Where do you work? Do you work in the city?" He goes, "Yeah, I work in the Empire State Building." I go, "That's kind of cool to work in an iconic building like that. How long have you worked in that building?" He goes, "Well, we moved in the day they opened." Because he was 92. I go, "Wow." So when they built the Empire State Building, which at the time was the tallest building in the world, you moved in. Yeah, we were one of the first tenants. And I worked there my entire life. How cool is that? I said, "Well, that's fantastic." I says, "Is your wife still alive?" And he says, "No, my wife passed away a few years ago." I said, "Well, I'm sorry to hear that." I said, "Was it a long, drawn-out illness, or was it sudden?" She goes, "Oh," he goes, "it was very sudden. She got hit by a bus." I'm thinking, oh no, this was a question I should not have asked. I said, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear it." He goes, "Yeah, it was tragic. We loved each other so much. We got married when we were both 22 years old. We were together our whole life. She was my best friend. I loved her. She loved me. We were together every single day. We happened to be walking down Manhattan holding hands. We were looking at each other, just saying how much we loved each other. And she stepped off the curb and got hit by a bus. She wasn't looking because she was looking at me, telling me how much she loved me." I'm like, I should definitely not have asked this question. And I said, "That must have been horrific." He goes, "Oh, it was a shock and tragic." He says, "I must have cried for 5 full days." I said, "Really?" He goes, "It was tragic." He goes, "I cried every day for about 5 days." He said, "But you have to move on in life." That's what she would have wanted. And he said, with a big smile, "And I loved her so much, and she loved me, and we had the best life." And he wasn't tore up about it. He let it go. And I said, "Let's talk about this." I said, "You were tore up for 5 days." He goes, "Yeah, I cried every day." He says, "Not all day, but every day I was sad." He said, "But after 5 days," he goes, "that's enough mourning. You have to move on with your life." That's what she would have wanted. He let it go. And one of the things that's fascinating to me is when you look at not wealthy people, well, wealthy inside, when you look at people that live to be 100 years old, healthy people that are truly happy, one of the common denominators is they take life very lightly. They let things go. They don't hold on to things. They release and let go. So the magic of being happy is when something comes into your life that you don't like. Here is the procedure. Number one, acknowledge how you feel. don't deny it. Number 2, welcome that negative feeling. Don't resist it. And number 3, allow it to pass through and to transmute. Allow. Be in a state of allowing. Let go and release. Surrender to the universe. This will happen if you do the first 2 steps. If you acknowledge and not deny, and if you allow and welcome instead of resist. What you resist persists. Think about this. Now, there are techniques that you can do to help get rid of encapsulated or trapped energy patterns or negative energy patterns that give you an uncontrollable and irrational emotion, like thought field therapy or Dr. Mortar's bioenergetic synchronization technique, or different types of energy work and units that people can use. There are a whole host of different things that you can do. But the most important or powerful that has been used for tens of thousands of years is simply confronting and allowing it to transmute, keeping your heart open. So that brings us to the second part. How do we maintain joy? Where does joy come from, and how is joy different than happiness? Happiness comes from external situations. We hit the lottery, we're happy. We get served a great meal, our favorite food, we're happy. We get a raise, we're happy. Our team wins, we're happy. So things happen in our external environment and we become happy. Problem with happiness is, how long does it last? You're a kid. It's Christmas Day. You get presents. You're happy. You open up the presents. You're happy. You play with the toys. You're happy. The next day, it's over. Right? You're no longer happy because it's gone. You need another stimuli, something on the outside, to make you happy again. So happiness is always fleeting. It's always temporary. Joy, on the other hand, is constant. It comes up from the heart. It comes up from within. Joy and bliss comes from an eternal spring when you are connected to the oneness of Source. When you have awareness, at least to some degree, when you're conscious, at least to some degree, of who you really are as an extension and expression of the one universal love and light that is all things, that one consciousness. When you realize that you are the pure expression and extension of God's love, just as God is love, so are you. When you have some glimpse, awareness, or experience of that truth, now you have joy and bliss, and you have access to that unlimited, eternal well of infinite joy, bliss, and love. And this permeates your entire being. So are there some things you can do to help get into these states? Yes. And I'm going to give you 5. Number 1, release, or at least reduce, attachment to a particular outcome. When you release and let go an attachment to a particular outcome, life becomes much easier. In the words of Herb Cohen, the great negotiator from Chicago, when he said, in negotiation and in life, you have to care, but not that much. That's releasing an attachment to an outcome. You have to care, but not that much. And somebody says, well, how am I going to then manifest goals, dreams, and desires? Well, I explain that in the 10 steps to manifesting. And this is something that everyone does. You release an attachment to the outcome as the last final key, because doing so takes you out of vibrating lack or vibrating want and need. Because if you're wanting and needing something, if you're vibrating lack all the time, the universe is going to give you situations, events, circumstances, conditions, and people so that you're always wanting and needing it, which means you never have it. So you have wanting and needing in the beginning to contract the energy, and you use that then to focus on what you want and desire, then you feel now as if you were in possession of what you want and desire. So you see yourself actually having it and feel as actually you did have it. Then while maintaining that same feeling, you release the attachment to it. by saying it's okay if I never got it. And you maintain that good feeling. So now you're living in the now, feeling as if you actually were in attainment of it, but not caring if you get it or not. That's when things manifest in your life. That allows the windows of heaven to open. And it also prevents you from feeling any stress and anxiety or neediness or lack in your current situation, thus increasing your current state of happiness and opening up the heart for joy and bliss to come pouring out. Next, materialism, which is defined as needing stuff, loving stuff, and having stuff be an extension of you, robs us of inner peace. If you have a nice car, if you have a nice piece of jewelry, that's wonderful. But are you attached to it? What this means is if you're attached to that item, it is actually a part of you. You view it as an extension of you, a part of you. And if somebody were to steal it or take it away, it's like stealing one of your fingers. You feel terrible because you put your essence into that material object. You've made it a part of you by extending your essence into it and permeating your essence into that object. It's actually an extension of you. This is what hoarders do. You're never going to be happy, ever, if you have your essence in material things. If you have no attachment, no connection with them, you use them but don't love them, and they're not an extension of you, now you've eliminated materialism. Having the pressure to accumulate things creates anxiety. What this also does is put you in a situation where you're comparing yourself against others. It's never enough pattern and momentum cycle that starts developing. So the solution here is simply always consider decluttering on a regular basis and throwing stuff away or giving stuff away. Take one drawer in your house and look at it all and say, this is a closed drawer. When was the last time you wore that shirt? If you haven't worn it in a year, throw it away or give it away. What are you waiting for? You're never going to wear it. Buy something new anyway. It's somebody else's turn. It'll be new for somebody else. Get rid of it. Go through your drawers. Go through your closets. Oh my God, the garage. Open stuff up. Throw stuff away or give it away. When you start doing this, the exercise is magical because you start releasing attachment to things. And this will increase your happiness and joy. It opens up your heart because now instead of putting your essence into all this material stuff, and you have to hold it. It's like you get tense. I can't leave it. I can't leave it. Oh, I got something else. I got to hold on to this one. I got to hold on to that. I got to hold on to this. The stress and pressure subconsciously that's going on is amazing, and it's reducing your happiness. It's reducing your level of joy and bliss. It's stopping the heart from opening up. You need to reduce or eliminate attachment to things. Give stuff away, throw stuff away, declutter. If you look at hoarders, they are so attached to stuff, it's mind-boggling. I remember there was a show called Hoarders, and virtually, it almost looked like it was fake, but it wasn't. I walked into this guy's house, and all there was, as soon as you walked in the front door, was boxes and boxes and boxes. It's like, this is how the guy lived for decades. Just boxes, stacked up to the ceiling everywhere. There was almost no place to sit. And this was in the kitchen, in every room, including the bathrooms. Just stuff. It was shocking. So the guy says, look, we got to throw some stuff away. No, everything's important, the guy says. Everything's important. So he went through one of the boxes, and there was a little jar with some old bottle caps, like a Pepsi and Coca-Cola, old bottle caps from the old bottles. These were not relics. They weren't antiques. They had no value whatsoever. Total value, Zero. They weren't worth $1 for the whole lot. They were worth nothing. 100% worthless. They were old, rusted out, used bottle caps. And he goes, well, clearly we can throw away the bottle caps. Because the guy was looking for something, like the least valuable thing, something should have no sentimental value, nothing. So he holds up this, he goes, well, certainly we can throw away the bottle caps. And the guy goes, oh no, we can't get rid of the bottle caps. And the host says, well, why? No. The guy started having a panic attack. No, I need those bottle caps. I have to have those bottle caps. You can't take those bottle caps. You can't throw those away. He put his essence into everything. So materialism, being attached to physical things, will always reduce your happiness. One simple solution is once a week, go through one drawer in your house and say, I'm going to declutter one drawer at a time. Just start there. Start small. And start throwing stuff away or give it away. If there's a Salvation Army in the area, just grab a box, throw it in there, drive there, drop it off. Or just chuck it, throw it away. The more stuff you throw away or give away, the freer you are spiritually. You want to be spiritually free and liberated? Look, I know I don't look like a guru. I'm not sitting here with long gray hair, with a red dot here or some ashes on my face. I don't look like Swami Muktananda or Yogananda or Ananda, etc., whatever. They're all Anandas, which means love and bliss, by the way. But I'm not from India. I'm a Western guy. Well, guess what? They were all Western saints, Christian saints who are spiritually enlightened, fully perfected masters. But we don't think about that. We think about Indian gurus wearing Indian garb. But there are a lot of people in Japan that were perfected masters, but we don't consider that. The picture of a perfected master, a guru, a self-realized being, is a certain one in our vernacular, if you will, or in our culture. But the fact of the matter is, all over the world, in every culture, there are spiritually enlightened, fully realized beings. And we know them by a series of phenomena, which I describe in my Guru Cup lessons that you can find there for free at gurucup.com. Getting rid of attachment to things is critical for your joy and happiness. You can have all the stuff in the world, but if you don't have an attachment to it, you are free. You're liberated on all levels and all dimensions. This is the goal, isn't it? To be happy and joyful and to be free of attachment, to feel total freedom and liberation on all levels and on all dimensions. Number 3, most people have habits that keep them less than happy and prevent them from fully experiencing bliss and joy. These are harmful thought patterns. And I'll give you some of the basic emotions or thought patterns that people have which reduce their level of happiness. Judgment. So ask yourself, how often do you judge others? Right? Guilty, right? How often do you judge yourself? That's even more important. Not just judging others, but judging yourself. If you reduce judging others and increase understanding, just try to understand their point of view. Reducing judgment increases happiness, joy, and bliss. Criticism. How often do you criticize yourself? I'm so dumb. Ugh. Why do I always make dumb mistakes? You criticize yourself. Oh, I'm a fat, disgusting pig. You criticize your body. What does your body do to you except make you live, keep you alive? You should be thankful and grateful for your body, but you criticize yourself, you criticize your body. No matter what you look like, you're beautiful. You're pure love and light. I see people, I don't see the color of their skin, I don't see their gender, what their body looks like. I see the love and light that they are. And I just see pure beauty in every single person, and it's so easy to love them. When you're at that state where you can see who a person truly is. Try to see yourself as who you truly are. Try to see others as who they really are, at least to some degree. And you'll be less critical. Reduce the amount of criticism. Increase understanding. Anger. Oh, it's so easy to get angry. Or is it? I always tell people, it's hard for me to get angry. Although on occasions, I get angry. And that anger lasts for about a minute. And then it's gone. Because sometimes things need to get done, need to happen. I stub my toe and I get angry for a moment. Right? And then I start laughing. You let emotions flow. Constant anger, though, living in a state of anger is going to dramatically reduce your level of happiness. Envy. Think about what the word envy means. Envy means that you're upset with somebody else because you think that they're better than you or have more than you. You're envious of them. That's putting negative energy toward another person. If we're all connected, any negative vibration you put out to another person, whether it's criticism or anger or envy or judgment, is coming right back to you times 100. This is going to reduce your level of happiness and reduce your bliss and joy because it's going to close up the heart chakra, which is love. So these critical elements, if you're judgmental, if you're critical, if you're angry, if you're envious, you're shutting off your heart because instead of sending love to people, you're sending opposite emotions. And it's coming back to you. Those negative thought patterns are coming right back to you. Pride. Thinking you're better than someone else or everyone else. Or needing to be the center of attention. Think of pride. How proud are you? This is actually a negative emotion that causes us to look at others in a negative way. We need attention. We need acknowledgement. We need love. We have these needs, and we're proud of ourselves, looking at ourselves as better than others. This is closing the heart chakra. Humility is the opposite of pride. In the Bible, it says pride comes before the fall. If you have pride, you are setting yourself up for the fall. But if you have humility, the heavens open, the windows of heaven open, and blessings pour into your life so much you don't have room to take it in. Be humble as opposed to prideful. Need for respect. Do you have a need to be respected? I see this so much where people say, I want respect. He disrespected me. Who cares? It's not about him. It's not what he did or didn't do. Why are you feeling disrespected? Nobody can disrespect me. It's about them, not about me. I know who I am. It doesn't matter what you say to me or what you do to me or what you don't do to me or what you don't say to me. I don't take offense because I know who I am. If you're doing something that, quote, is disrespectful or mean or nasty, you got the problem, not me. I have love for you. As a matter of fact, in that instance, I have more compassion for you. My love that I'm pouring out to you because you deserve and have a right to be happy and joyful, and now you're in pain. If somebody is, quote, disrespecting you, they're coming from a point of pain. They're in pain. They're suffering. Have compassion for them. Have love for them. Don't say, I demand respect. No one's going to disrespect me. That doesn't increase your happiness and joy. It reduces it. Need for control. Think about it. You need to be in control of things, or can you let somebody else, quote, take control? If you have a wanton need of control, you're not going to be happy. If you don't care if you have control, you're free. Wanting and needing of safety and security. If you have a wanting and needing of safety and security, I really want safety, I really want security, you're bound, you're shackled, you're chained, your happiness goes down. If you don't care if you have safety and security because you know that it's always there anyway, you are liberated. You are spiritually free and emotionally free. And your happiness and joy and bliss just gushes nonstop. Need for love and affection. If you need attention, acknowledgement, affection, attention, if you need and want love from others, you are bound and shackled and chained. If you don't need it, because it wells up within you, you have it 24/7 in boundless, limitless amounts coming from within. Remember, the kingdom of God is within. If you have that, and if you acknowledge that, if you are conscious and aware of that, you have no need for love and affection from anyone else. You are free on all levels and all dimensions. So the third thing is work on and be conscious of the harmful thought patterns that you have. And when you notice one, don't criticize yourself. Just say cancel, cancel, and then replace it with a positive one. If you feel prideful and you're noticing that, say cancel, cancel, and then tap into humility. If you feel envious of someone, say cancel, cancel, go into gratitude and appreciation for them. Be happy for what they have and their success. Replace any type of negative thought pattern with a positive one. Be nice to yourself. Next, there was a book written years ago by Mandino called The Greatest Salesman in the World, and it has these 10 scrolls. And he has you read one of these scrolls. Of course, it's a myth. It's a complete myth, and it's a made-up story. It's a little tiny book. But you read one scroll every day, and it takes like 8 minutes to read. And you read it every day for 30 days. Then you read the next scroll. And what it's designed to do is to instill in you or programming you with a concept, 12 concepts, one concept each month. And the way you program yourself and really get it in is to read this little scroll, 10 pages, every day for 30 days. One of the scrolls, and I believe it's the first one, it's either the first one or the last one. It's, in my opinion, the most important one. The scroll says, I will greet everyone I meet today and say silently to them, I love you. The secret to the universe. Everyone is connected. We're all one. There's one static, there's one universal consciousness or awareness, there's one universal intelligence, there's one God, there's one static, there's one energy field, there's just one. Everything and everyone comes out of that one. We are all, and everything is, an extension and expression of that oneness. That oneness is love and consciousness and awareness and light. That's what it is. That means that's what you are, and everything is. If you send anything negative to another person or an animal or a tree, you're doing it to yourself because there's one. If you greet everyone you meet, silently say, I love you, and open up your heart, your life will change. Because when it goes out, the universe brings it back to you times 100 or up to 1,000-fold. Because everything's connected. So the easiest way to increase our own positive feeling is to send positive feelings to other people first. And we don't have to do that in an outward way. We can do it in a silent way. You're walking down the street. It's like this is heaven because you're making all these deposits that are going to get 1,000% interest in a day. So everyone you meet go, I love you, 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 I love you. And you go, I'm getting rich. I'm getting rich with love. I'm getting rich with joy and happiness. Because everyone I meet, if I say that, my heart's opening. And it's coming back to me through the universal field times 100 or 1,000. So wish happiness silently toward others. Say, I love you to others silently, every single person you meet. Compassion is really what this is. If you define compassion is defined as knowing that everyone has a right to be happy. Compassion is knowing everyone deserves to be happy. So when you look at somebody and you think to yourself, they have a right to be happy, they deserve to be happy, that's what compassion is. Think about it. And lastly, if you're going to tell everyone else, I love you silently, send loving thoughts toward yourself every day. Tell yourself, Kevin, I love you. Give yourself gratitude. Be appreciative of your mind. Be appreciative of what you have in life. Be thankful and grateful and appreciative for whatever is in your life, even if it's, quote, negative. The attitude is life doesn't do things to us. Life does things for us. So even if there's a negative situation, it's perfectly okay to say, this is not what I want to happen. And use that negative energy to define exactly what you do want. Feel now as if you were in possession of what you want, and then release the attachment to that outcome by saying, but if that never happens, it's perfectly okay. Now you're in that wonderful state, but you're in the present. And now you can say, I'm grateful and appreciative for everything in my life. Because even though this thing happened that I don't particularly like, I know the universe does things for me, not to me. And the best is yet to come. This is how you increase happiness, joy, and bliss. Think about it. You can be happy. You can experience negative emotions and have them only last a short period of time. And then you're enjoying the full flavor of all life has to offer. But the joy and bliss that comes from within, from awareness and consciousness of knowing that you are connected always, and never separate, but always connected to source and thus one with everything, and that you are connected to an everlasting spring of love and light, gives you a feeling that is beyond comprehension and beyond words. And it's something that can happen to you. There are techniques that you can use. The Science of Personal Mastery course in the Global Information Network outlines all of the training that I've gone through with every guru in the Brotherhood, which releases all of the energetic imprints that get activated and make us have uncontrollable and irrational emotions. You can be liberated. You can be free. And I will tell you this, all around the world, happiness is going down. There's a report that just came out. It's called the World Happiness Report. And it points out that the United States hits a new low in the World Happiness Report. And the chart shows us, America, plummeting. Very few countries are going up. Most are just plummeting. Now, this is not a 100% accurate guide. For example, there's one metric or statistic that they don't check, and that is the percentage of the population taking antidepressants. Because if you look at that metric, we are the most unhappy country, America is, in the world. If you look at that metric. If you look at suicides, that's another metric. If you look at people that are grossly overweight, who never leave the house, who don't socialize, who say they have no friends, there's a lot of different metrics. But at the end of the day, all over the world, people are becoming less and less happy. And very few people know the oneness and the joy and bliss that can come from an increased awareness of oneness. So I would encourage you, there's a place that I can help take you. And it's a beautiful place. It's a place of love and light and compassion, where not only do you love all people and things and feel compassion for all people and things, and you have an unconditional love without condition and without exception, but you also love yourself. And you go to bed every night saying, I love my life. And you wake up every morning full of energy. You go to bed because you're tired, and you wake up excited instead of going to bed bored and waking up tired like most people do. You can have a wonderful life. It's waiting for you. So how do you get there? You know, there's a lot of different paths. There's not just one. I would suggest and recommend that you consider joining the Global Information Network. Global Information Network is a private, member-only club that I founded back in 2009. We have members in over 150 countries. We teach our members through the Success Mastery course and the Science of Personal Mastery course, not only how to manifest goals, dreams, and desires, and how to make more money and how to get in life all the things you want, but we teach the secrets of longevity and super health. But we also teach through the Science of Personal Mastery course the path toward enlightenment, spiritual freedom and liberation on all levels and dimensions, so that you aren't a slave to uncontrollable and irrational emotions, that your happiness goes higher and that joy and bliss comes out. And because we're a wonderful club of like-minded people, you meet amazing friends and develop relationships that are deeper, more fulfilling than you could ever imagine before. You go through the Your Wish is Your Command basic training, and then continue with the Success Mastery course and the Science of Personal Mastery course, and it's pretty spectacular. I want to show you a video right now of just a taste of what our club is about, because if you do want more out of life, consider joining. And if you do join, there's two things I'm going to get you for free. Number one, you get a ticket, all expense paid, to one of our upcoming weekend events. We have one coming up this summer at the Regent Beverly Wilshire in Beverly Hills, California. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you get to come absolutely free. You just have to join our club, upgrade to level 5, and you get a free ticket. Or you can just join our club and get a free ticket to our family reunion event, which is a major event. We have a tremendous packed number of successful speakers that are going to transform you. Coming up in Chicago in the fall, we also have a major Hollywood celebrity probably going to be there speaking as well. Can't tell you who he is. It'll be powerful, free. So you get a free ticket to a major event. That's worth $5,000. Absolutely free. As a matter of fact, it's really worth around $15,000, because a lot of the success gurus put on weekend seminars and they charge anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000. So that's what it's worth, and it's going to be a life-changing event. But you're also going to get a ticket for a 1-week, all-expense-paid luxury cruise on the Norwegian cruise line ship, the Pearl. Our club, the Global Information Network, purchased the entire ship for a whole week. So every single person on that ship, every single passenger is going to be a member of our club. You're going to get a ticket absolutely free. All you have to do is join the club. So we're trying to entice you to improve the quality of your life and your standard of living in ways you couldn't even imagine. We know how good it is. It's just up to you. But let's take a look at this video here, showing just a little bit of a taste about what our club's all about.
I joined this club 14 years ago. And during that time, I was in a pretty rough spot. I was going through some things. And the reason I joined this club was because I listened to a CD set called Your Wish is Your Command. And on this CD set, the person delivering the information helped me start to dream again. This person was such a master at communication and a master of this material, and was so full of love that these 14 CDs literally transformed my life.
Every concept, if you take the time and effort to go through them, really focus on them, could have a major impact in your life. And this made sense to me because in my martial arts training, sometimes you would be given one drill and your Sifu would say, do this indefinitely. And that would be the one thing I worked on. And you would get so much out of just doing that one simple drill over and over, and you would realize how critical and how important it was and how much it unlocked everything.
I joined Jin literally 6 months ago, and my life has transformed.
I never thought I could go where I see myself going today, and that is thanks to the training. When the training says you don't know what you don't know, it is absolutely true. You really don't know what you don't know.
Life is different, and I realized it wasn't the world, it was me, and I'm seeing it different. I am seeing me different. I feel everything different, and the world is so lovely.
One very important thing that Kevin was telling us in some of the audios, that one day you will be able to walk as a magician. And this day came. It's very powerful.
I've been involved with the Jin training for, I guess, since 2009, 2010, your wish is your command. And when I started, I was trying to figure out how, mainly to make money, but how to create, everything seemed like a mystery. The result now is that I don't have any sense of lack in my life. I just have everything. I don't feel like I'm trying to get anywhere. Money has become very, very easy. I was able to retire at the age of 31. I've had some abilities open up where I'm able to sense thoughts and energies in people even before they're aware of them.
And when I turned off the tape, something magical happened for me. If you fell upon it, that means you are ready.
Welcome back. You know, if that doesn't excite you, I don't know what is. And remember, if you join our club, your life's going to change, not mine. I know this stuff. We all, as members, know this stuff. Our lives are spectacular and getting better every day in every way. If you don't join our club, it doesn't affect us at all, but it will affect you. And I want to entice you even just a little more, because one of the key parts of our club, the very first training you get as part of our core training when you become a member, is you get the Your Wish is Your Command training, which is the first step, first part of the Success Mastery course that I authored. This teaches all the techniques in the most systematic, step-by-step format ever devised. It's the greatest success course of all time, teaching you how to manifest goals, dreams, and desires. Then there's the Science of Personal Mastery course, which is effectively the path toward superhuman abilities, enlightenment, self-realization, and spiritual freedom on all levels and all dimensions. I want to show you another video here and listen to real people just like you and what's happened to them by becoming a member of this club and embracing the training. Take a look at this.
I'd like to tell you how serious and how quick the effect of listening to Your Wish is Your Command.
It's very powerful. This training is so powerful.
I manifested the home of my dreams. I found the home, negotiated it, and moved into that home within 2 weeks. During that time, I manifested a girlfriend too.
Not to give anything away, but the very last segment, he mentions whatever you've been focusing on, don't be surprised if it automatically comes in 1 month. Don't be surprised if it comes in 1 week. Don't be surprised as soon as you turn off this tape, something magical happens. And when I heard that and I turned off the tape, something magical happened for me. I was in a situation where all of a sudden I needed $1,500 quickly in less than 24 hours. The morning after I listened to this last portion of the Your Wish is Your Command, I got a knock on the door, and it was my mailman. And he never knocks on my door. And he gives me an envelope and from Wells Fargo. So when I opened the check, first of all, I don't have a bank account with Wells Fargo, and I never have. And now, upon opening the check, it was $1,600, the exact amount that I needed as soon as I needed it.
I changed my way of thinking drastically, and it has been an incredible journey.
It's okay to dream again, no matter how old you are.
I am now, today, living my dream. And this is thanks to Kevin's training. My dream was to travel the world, becoming financial independent and location independent.
I did see a 401% increase in my monthly income, as well as I saw an influx of everything else in all areas of my life.
Things in my life became a whole lot easier. I'm happier than I ever been. I'm healthier than I ever been.
When I first got into gin, I was 16 years old. The second I heard Your Wish is Your Command, it was the first audio I'd ever listened to. Everything has changed since I've joined this club. Honestly, I would give this club the credit for almost everything. I mean, I've done the application, I've put in the work, but it's really gave me the system and the structure to be successful in my finances, be successful in my relationships, be successul in my relationship with myself.
I had found such profound freedom and joy in myself to be able to be with anything. Even if things were challenging, I knew that these were opportunities with miracles waiting for me on the other end.
As of about a month ago, I am completely debt-free, and it's been an amazing journey, and that's thanks to gin. And I did lose 28 pounds.
Self-confidence and a sense of improvement and internal peace.
I've been involved with the gin training for, I guess, since 2009, 2010, Your Wish is Your Command. When I started, I was trying to figure out how, mainly to make money, but how to create. Everything seemed like a mystery. The result now is that I don't have any sense of lack in my life. Money has become very, very easy. I was able to retire at the age of 31.
It's hard to describe exactly in 12 years, how this amazing journey has been, but it really has made it so that I have a much greater degree of power in my life and much greater sense of serenity and peace in everything that I do, and a much greater understanding of how to create things in this universe when you want to, and also how to deal with anything that comes about, and really just to see the magic in life. And this really has been a beautiful journey and a great path that's taken me to where I would like to go.
I can tell you that the pain in my chest went away, the pain in my neck went away, the insecurity I had when speaking went away, the insecurities I had when speaking to other people went away. My ability to be a father was restored. My ability to be an amazing, faithful, dedicated husband was restored. And my ability to sit down somewhere and be completely at peace and happy with who I am and completely relaxed is now something I can readily do anytime I want. So being a member of the Global Information Network is where this happened to me.
This is information that, again, has been kept secret for so long, and now you're having the opportunity to be exposed to something that's pretty powerful and, again, is rare. And so if it's coming to your experience, it isn't by accident, and it's up to you to take advantage of it. You've been asking for something, it's presented itself to you, but now it's up to you to take action and utilize it, to integrate it and not just listen to it, but make it a part of you.
This isn't something that just comes to people arbitrarily, and if you fell upon it, that means you are ready.
Welcome back. Well, go to globalinformationnetwork.com, get all the information. You can also go to yourwishisyourcommand.com. We'll put that up on the screen as well. That'll give you some more information as well. Become a member. Join our club. We'd love to have you. I'd love to see you at our event either in Beverly Hills and meet you personally, shake your hand, get a picture with you. Also, by the way, if you can't come to the event live, you also get a free ticket as an alternative to watch the event virtually from the comfort of your own home. So maybe some of you can't actually travel. You're around the world. Maybe it's just too much, even though you have a free ticket. Maybe you can't afford the airfare and the hotels, or you can't get away from work. You can also get a free ticket to the event virtually. It's second best. So that's available. All right. Now, I'm no longer Kevin Trudeau guru. I am now Kevin Trudeau movie critic. So we're going to put up on the screen, these are the movies that I've recommended since I started this TV show or this YouTube show or podcast, whatever you want to call it. These are the movies that I recommended. So each week I recommend movies because each week I want to give you an entertaining movie that has a secret to success. Last week, for example, I recommended Apollo 13, which gives a whole plethora of secrets of success, and also Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which tells you there's a secret of success in there called obsession, about focusing on a dream and willing to put forth the effort. So check out these movies. They're entertaining and they all have secrets of success. Make sure you leave a comment in our comment section. The algorithm also works better if not only if you leave a comment, but you also go on and comment on somebody else's comment. So subscribe, leave a comment on somebody else's comment, and then share this with everybody. Share this video, tell people about our channel. I got 2 movie recommendations this week. The first one is an old black and white one. I recommended before Frankenstein, the original black and white version of Frankenstein. If you've seen it, drop a note in the comment section whether you liked it. It's riveting. This one is also riveting, and it will show you the power of persuasion and the power of supreme confidence and how it can affect others, as well as other things. The movie is called Dracula with Bela Lugosi. It's in black and white. It's the original version. There's no blood in it. There's no nudity. There's no cursing. Sure, it's a scary movie. But how can it be scary without any blood and guts? No violence? How can it be scary? It's terrifying. It's terrifying. I'm telling you, watch this, turn the lights down, get your friends or your spouse there, get on the couch, get some popcorn, turn the lights down, and watch this, and you are gonna be terrified. And what it shows is another technique that I want you to be aware of, is that how people using different forms of media, music, sound, sight, etc., how they can affect your emotions so powerfully. Dracula, unbelievable, great. The next one is called The Constant Gardener. This is not a good movie. Why am I recommending this? Some of you are gonna like it when I say it's not a good movie. To me, it was like, I like Godzilla -1 minus color. That was a good movie. The new Japanese one. Why am I recommending this? Because it's based on a true story. And basically it'll shock you. Drug companies, in order to get drugs approved, need to get, in America, the Food and Drug Administration to approve it. They have to do what's called trials. So the way they get these trials approved is they make a drug. They then go over to Africa and other third world countries, and they get people and they say, we're gonna pay you $50 or whatever to take this drug. These are not clinical trials. Nobody knows about this. They're off the books. They're done secretly. The drugs are given to these poor people who take the money because they need the money. But they're human guinea pigs. They lose a limb, they lose their eyesight, they die, and this is all tracked. The DNA and blood work is done on all these people, and what's being established is this drug will kill people that fall into these parameters. This drug will make these people blind. But this group of people, they don't have any negative side effects, or they have a very small percentage of negative side effects. Perfect. So now when they come back to America and say, hey, we're gonna do a clinical trial, randomly, we will pick some subjects, randomly. They're not random. They know that they're getting a pool of people that they've already found out will have the least amount of negative side effects, even though the real negative side effects are 100 times more. So they produce these effectively fake research studies documenting that the drugs are safe and effective. The drugs are not safe and they're not effective. They're absolutely not safe. And they're not as effective as they're being touted. This is why drugs are constantly being taken off the market. Zantac, it's an over-the-counter, right? You can buy Zantac anywhere, right? You could just walk into a drugstore and say, I want some Zantac, right? You just pop it. Now it causes cancer. I talked about this 15 years ago. I go, so here's a drug that people were just popping like candy, Zantac, and all of a sudden, and I said, it's causing cancer. I mean, I said it 100 times, people are popping it, and all of a sudden now, there's all these class action lawsuits because it causes cancer. But the Food and Drug Administration said it's safe and effective. Well, it's not safe, never was safe, and it was never effective. They lied. They're either dumb or they lied. They're both. They lied and they're dumb. But the point is, this movie, The Constant Gardener, will open your eyes because it's based on a true story. So I highly recommend and endorse that you watch that movie as well. And I got one more thing today, and that is our book recommendation. So that was Kevin Trudeau, movie critic. Now I am Kevin Trudeau, book critic. All right. So let's put up on the screen. Here are the books that I've recommended since I started the show. And I know most of you have not read these books. How to Influence and Influence People, Chronic Management, The Secret, It Works, The Magic of Thinking Big, The Go-Getter, Think and Grow Rich, The Magic of Believing, See You at the Top, Psycho-Cybernetics. You haven't read these books. I'm going to recommend one more, take a few weeks off. Look, these are the books that if you read them and apply the techniques, they can change your life forever. Absolutely 100%. Because for decades, the only thing that people had access to learn the secrets of success was books. They didn't have seminars. They didn't have YouTube. They didn't have workshops. They didn't have audio tapes. There was no cassette tapes, no audios, no mastermind groups. So the only thing a person could do in order to learn how to become successful is to find a rich person, basically become that person's apprentice, work for them, learn from them, and then hopefully kind of figure out what they're doing and then mimic and model that successful person's thinking, words, and actions and apply it and hopefully work and hopefully figure out what that person's doing. The other thing was read books. Books are powerful. Books help change the size of the hippocampus in the brain. And if you read books, that's why reading is more important than even listening to audios, because reading affects the brain more so. And this is why if you want to become successful, you have to increase the size of the hippocampus in the brain in order to broadcast the frequency to attract, like a magnet, money into your life. Reading books will do it. Becoming a member of the Global Information Network does it because of the relationships. The relationships you have with others makes that part of the brain grow faster, increasing your power to become a money magnet. I mean, this is absolute. And then the money processes blow out all of the counter intentions so that you're not swimming upstream. And if you want more information on the money processes, there's the email. When you come to Chicago and get the money processes, you can do one, you can do up to 30. I take you to dinner. And believe me, that one dinner, it can change everything. I'll tell you more about why, but that's worth it all. So here's the book this week. The book this week is called How to Solve All Your Money Problems Forever. How to Solve All of Your Money Problems Forever. Boy, how do I do that? That sounds like a great book by Victor Bach. And the reason I'm recommending this book, this is a newer book. This book talks about, I would say this book is about 90% perfect. 10%, there's some issues in there that I would question or challenge or modify, because Victor's a good guy. He hasn't made $100 million yet. So he's a little bit off on his theory about what he thinks is correct versus what is correct. But he's pretty close. And it's a good book, though. That's why I'm recommending it. The book is about giving. The secret to living is giving. J.D. Rockefeller, the richest man who ever lived, in today's money, he would be worth over $650 billion in today's money. Nobody comes close. Most of that was in cash. Nobody comes close. Nobody in history of the mankind. J.D. Rockefeller made his money in oil, but he said that he practiced tithing, or giving 10% of his income, and giving offerings, which is giving more than 10%, because he was a devout Baptist. And they taught giving. They taught giving alms, or giving to the poor. They always taught give, 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 give. No matter what, you have to give first. When you get some income, it's not yours, it's God's. It comes from the universe. You have to give a portion back into society and plant those seeds in order for you to get more. Whatever you give comes back to you. Whatever you sow, you reap. This is why members or partners in our club, in the Kevin Trudeau fan club, partners do so well in life, because as a partner, when they go to KevinTrudeauFanClub.com and they become a partner and they give every month, not only do they get our monthly Zoom calls and all the benefits, the newsletters and all that other stuff, signed copies of my books, and they get all these other great benefits, value, but they're giving a gift to the club, to me effectively, and the universe has to give back. They're planting a seed into the universe. So this book talks about giving. It is the power of giving. I also have at KevinTrudeauFanClub.com the giving lessons. So this is such a powerful concept. I would encourage you to read the giving lessons first. So you can put this up on the screen, the KevinTrudeauFanClub.com website with where you can find the giving lessons. So read the giving lessons. They're all free. I'm not asking for any money. They're free. But read the lessons on giving, then get this book and read it, and you will learn the power of giving. Rockefeller said that if he didn't start giving 10% of his income when he was earning $1.50 a week, this was back in the 1800s, he said he would have never been able to give over, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars over his lifetime, actually hundreds of billions of dollars over his lifetime, because he was worth $600 billion. It's estimated he gave away close to $250 billion in today's money. Who gives that much away? But this is the reason why he got so much, because when you give, you're planting a seed into the universe. It's seed faith. You're using your faith by planting a seed, by giving money away, where you get nothing in return, but the universe takes that faith and blesses you with abundance. Scripturally, it says the windows of heaven will open and all of the blessings will be poured onto you. So much so that you won't even have room to take it all in. That's the scriptural, spiritual promise. And it has absolutely worked. In my life, I've given my entire life. Sometimes I got my paycheck back in the 80s, and I would just walk up to my uncle and give it all to him so I could get some more training. As long as I had enough money to pay my rent and for the groceries and gas in the car. It's like, okay, I'm fine. I have enough to survive until my next paycheck. And when my next paycheck came in, I made sure I had my rent and I had my groceries, and the rest, which was sometimes 80% of my income, I would give it away. And sometimes I'd go to a church and give it away, or a homeless shelter. I'd get cash and walk into the homeless shelter, put it in an envelope, hand it to somebody anonymously to make sure that they got the money. Giving is powerful. You can't outgive the universe. So take advantage of that. Remember, whatever the mind of man can conceive and bring itself to believe, it can achieve. What's your dream? What do you want in life? You want happiness and joy? You want material things? You want super health? You want a great relationship? You can have it all. You just have to know how to apply the techniques for manifesting in your life everything you want. But I will tell you simply this. The external world you're living in, the conditions, experiences, is a reflection of what is within you. If you get within you pure and beautiful, the external world will change. But you have to change the inside first, and then give yourself time to succeed. When you change the inside first, it's like planting seeds. You don't plant a seed, walk out the next day and go, where's the tree? You planted the seed. You have to water it and fertilize it and give it time. And then it sprouts. And then you give it time. And then it gets the sun. And then it begins to grow. That's how things manifest. You have to change the inside first. And when that's changed, don't expect an instant result tomorrow, although it could happen. But when you change the inside first, then you've planted the seed. And the blessings in your life will start manifesting. First, you must sow, then wait, and then you reap. There's a time for planting, and there's a time for harvest. So what's your dream? Whatever the mind of man can conceive and bring itself to believe, it can achieve. You can make all your dreams come true. You can have inner joy and peace and security and happiness and bliss. You can have an inner sense of fulfillment and purpose. You can have that love that scriptures talk about that surpasses all human comprehension and understanding and is beyond words. It can be yours. I can take you there. Take my hand. Let's go. I love you. God loves you. And if you do these things or think these things, I know I will definitely see you all at the top. Much love, my friends. Don't let anyone steal your dreams. Bye-bye.